Good morning. Hello, everyone. When I'm recording this, it is a Monday morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It is bright and early. And the crows are having a fit this morning. Oh, and there goes the first director, Surrey. I have two, the director and assistant director, with me almost every morning. Good morning. Good to have you here. And so they're obviously here helping out as well. Guys, the sky is so pretty blue this morning. Isn't that awesome? Hey, Candy, glad to have you here. Everything is so green. It's just so beautiful this morning. So this morning, I'm chatting with you about, are you believing yourself fat? And the truth of reality is, yes. If you're struggling with weight loss, then you are believing yourself fat. And I want to go into explaining all about how that is, what that is, and how to shift it. Good morning. So, are you believing yourself fat? We're going to start out with talking about the placebo effect. Almost everyone's aware of it. And it is when you substitute something for something else, that makes any explanation, about, and tell them it's the other thing. So, for instance, we've heard this specifically around the sugar pills. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse this morning. And sugar pills were given as morphine or pain reliever, and it still works. There's entire books. Physicians have been studying this for a long time. Scientists have been studying this a long time. Actually, almost every trial, every study around a new drug, they have to do this. They have to have a pill that has no ingredients whatsoever that will help, and then the actual drug that they're testing. So this is continuing to happen over and over and over again. This isn't just a myth. This isn't just fantasy. Sibo Effect is what they guide against to see if the drug that there's an assistant director, here she goes. So they're testing against placebos consistently. This is a real thing. This isn't just a make-believe thing. And they've actually had people who were having surgeries being told they were given anesthesia or even a numbing effect, that it was morphine or a pain reliever, and gone through the surgery without any pain because they believed it. That's how strong your belief system is. If you believe it, it will happen. And sometimes our belief systems, we're not sure which way they are. We want to think that our belief systems want us to be thin, but on the other hand, they're not. They're enforcing us to stay fat. The placebo effect is also been experimented with in the mental, emotional, vibrational field. So a doctor, a scientist in Japan, and there's books on it, it's called Messages in the Water. It's absolutely fascinating with actual pictures of what happened. He would take water and he would put it in two different beakers. So the same source, two different beakers. One beaker would go in a place where people would intend and speak to it lovingly. I love you. I'm so grateful you're here. You're so beautiful. The other beaker in a whole different space, and that was intend, you're ugly, you're disgusting, there's something wrong with you, you're broken. And then he would take both beakers of water and put them in a freezer and slice the frozen water, and with a microscope look at the structures of the crystals, and the beaker that even the intent, they didn't even have to be in the room, the intent that it is beautiful and lovely and how gracious you are and how we love you was absolutely perfect. The other beaker, or even just the intent, didn't even have to be spoken to. He did several studies, one where they actually spoke to it, another one was just the intent. The water crystals were disformed. Still beautiful, but disformed. And that's what's happening in our body. Part of that is our bodies are, some people say 75% water, some say no, more than that. So if you have a belief system that's creating the belief that you will stay fat, that it's too hard to stay on a diet, that you'll always be fat, then that belief system is going to hold true, even though it's not. And So between the studies around the hidden messages in the water and this placebo effect, and there's also the no-Cebo effect, which means that your belief system is so strong that you can't release the weight, that regardless if someone gave you a weight loss pill, whether it's placebo or not, you would hold on to the weight. That's how amazing our minds and brains are and affecting our body. That's how our body affects our minds and brains. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So what is that saying? That's saying that you, by changing your belief system, can achieve anything you really want. Now, let me take a step back a little bit. I could never become a ballerina right now. No matter how much I wanted it, how much I believed in it, I could take ballet lessons. I could probably perform in a shows with people my age, but I would never become a professional ballerina. Never. And that's not a belief system, that's just reality. So you can't really always achieve everything you want, but you can create a lot of what you do want in your life. I may be able to, like I said, take classes, tone down a bit, have a slimmer body, feel more flexible, feel more actually stronger, because they're extremely strong. So that, of course, would happen. I would never become a professional ballerina unless it's for my age group. Then I could. And there might be out there, I don't know. I'm sure there's many clubs and organizations that of my age that are continuing to be ballerinas. I live near a retirement community called the Villages, and they have cheerleaders, they have baton twirlers, and they have all kinds of dancers. So yes, in that space you could compete. Obviously when you're runners and you're competing, they have different age brackets, and so you could compete and win in your age bracket. So I'm not saying you can't be a winner. As a matter of fact, I think we all can be winners. It's about changing our belief systems. So again, it goes back to, what do you believe? And is it a no-Cebo effect? Are you really believing something that's not true about yourself? And there's all kinds of reasons why we hang on to our weight. There's all kinds of reasons why we overeat. There's all kinds of reasons why we emotional eat, and it's different for everyone. So this is something that it is to explore for yourself. And if you'd like some help exploring it, we'd be grateful to do that for you. 15 minutes, no obligation call, and we'll look into that for you. I share these things with you. These are things that you won't hear from any other weight loss person, any other weight loss guru or expert. You're not going to hear these type of things, because this is where it starts. What's going on in your brain? What's going on in your mind? And what do you believe? And your belief systems are so strong that you can counter what you want. I want to lose weight. My belief system is I'll never be able to lose weight. I've tried a gazillion dollars, not two. I've spent thousands, probably tens of thousands of dollars on weight loss. The sun's coming up on my face. So I'm shining. So I've spent tens of thousands of dollars probably on losing weight and never was able to keep it off. Much of my time, people tell me I could do it. If you just follow this plan, you can do it. I'll certainly help support you, is what the programs always said afterwards, which it wasn't really a whole lot of support for what I needed. And so you have evidence you've created, right? You've created evidence. You've got your solid reasons why you can't be thin. You've got your stories that you've created around why you can't be thin, which is your belief system. Then you're going to start collecting more evidence about why it can't be you. The doctor tells me my metabolism is slow, or I'm over 50, or blah. I mean, you can find all of those, why it can't be you, why me. You can go into the what ifs. What if I get thin? And there's a fear that happened many, many years ago, or just yesterday, around being thin. It could also be that you're rebelling. So someone told you were thin, that you'd never be thin years ago when you really were thin, that you're fat and ugly and no one would ever love you. And then that rebel now, some 30, 40, 50 years later, stays fat as a rebel against that person who's no longer in your life and may even be passed away by now. So this placebo effect, this no-Cebo effect, the whole idea about the experimentation with this, entire books have been written about it. One physician, I was watching they call it Sweet Week on public television, where they're getting donations. And I was watching, they had a physician on that wrote an entire book about this study, and how people she had a study about this one man who had all of these skin issues, as far as like they're not tumors, but like bumps on their skin. Some people might think of it as like the elephant man look. And so the doctor gave him a pill that was really just a sugar pill. It was just a placebo, but told him that, and everyone in the office, that this will take care of it. Within a few months, all of it had disappeared. And then he read that that study never existed, and that they were experimenting now, but that study never existed, and all started coming back. So he went back to his doctor and said, "You lied to me." He goes, no. That study, that article you read was not up to date. This really does work. So he started taking it again. Everything disappeared again. Several months later, again, more evidence came to him that it wasn't true. All of it came back, and actually passed away within a year or so after that. That shows how powerful your mind is. People come to me all the time, smokers come to me and say they want to stop smoking. And I say, what does smoking do for you? Well, it calms me down. It can't. Smoking cannot calm anybody down. The chemicals that they put in the tobacco actually are stimulants. And so the mind is so powerful that it overtakes the stimulants in the body and creates a calming sensation. Amazing, huh? It's amazing how powerful we all are. It's amazing how powerful you are in particular. And if you're believing yourself that you will always be fat, it's time to change that, because it can be changed very easily. It can be changed by, one, just stopping the thought. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Just say no. That's how I started with myself. It was a mental diet. Instead of changing my foods, I decided to go on a mental diet. And I just said, no, I'm not going to go down that path anymore. What I've learned later is more about the brain and how that affects the brain to say no, to not go down that path. And good morning. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. And working towards that, so just do that. Just say no. And it's not easy. I can share that with you. And it took a lot of effort the first week, and then not so much towards the end of the week. And then every now and then I still catch myself and just say, no, I'm not going down that. I call it a rabbit hole, because that's what it feels like. It's a spiral. It just keeps going down and down and down. So that's one way. The other way is to change your belief system in your subconscious mind, because like I said, you might not even know you have them. And that can be done very easily as well. And self-hypnosis is the key to that. And I've put in many of the threads the free download that you can get. It's called Weightloss, Overcome Overeating. Definitely get that. So what we chatted today about is the placebo effect and the no-Sibo effect, and how strong your mind is, how powerful it is. And if there's something that you really want, if you really want your health, if you really want to release weight, then let's work. Hey, Mitch, glad you're here. I'm just finishing up. If you really want something in your life and you're not sure why you can't achieve it, let's chat. No obligation, at least 15-minute call. We'll kind of drill down what's going on for you. And then if I have some resources for you, I'll be glad to share them with you. But your belief is really what is affecting you physically. It's affecting you emotionally, and it's affecting you in a mental and a brain sphere. And the studies have shown it and proved it over and over and over again. Placebo effect is true. Substituting one thing for another, a sugar pill for a drug, and then weight, that's going to be the belief system. And if you believe, it's just like Wayne Dyer said, if you believe you can eat 5 hot fudge sundaes a day and lose weight, you can. If you believe you can eat 1 hot fudge sundae a day and lose weight, you can. But most of us don't believe that. So it's changing the belief. The no-Sibo effect, that is, your mind is so powerful that even when the belief is proven wrong, that you still choose the belief system over what is really true. So you still choose to eat dozens of chocolate chip cookies when you feel sad, even though you know that's not going to help. And that shows how powerful your mind is. So until next time, I am going to walk away so you can enjoy a few minutes of this beauty that's going on around a beautiful blue sky. My goodness, how gorgeous. the beauty that's going on around, so that you can just take a few seconds to breathe. Have a beautiful day. Sending love. Bye now.